Well, it's another windy day here in Columbia, South Carolina, but nonetheless, we're here for another episode of Spurs Up. A new team member here with us, Nick Kloss. Nick, would you like to introduce yourself to the people?
As you said, I'm Nick Kloss. I'm a sophomore broadcast journalism major, and I'm really excited to be on the Spurs Up team.
It's always great to expand the team. We actually have some members of the athletic department that may not get as much camera time, but they're still members that are near and dear to our heart nonetheless. We have Pete Candela, the assistant coach for the club lacrosse team, and Gordon Palmer, the senior midfielder. Guys, how are you doing today?
Doing great.
Fantastic.
How
2-0 this season. Yeah. How does it feel?
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We came out to a pretty fast start. Team's a little bit different than it was last year, but as any new team kind of comes in, you get new players and new situations, and you just try to get the whole feeling. But Gordon's done a good job stepping up, being a leader this year.
Yeah, 7 goals in your career, 3 this season. How's that senior role starting to play out for you?
I think it's definitely different, but I mean, I feel like I'm ready for it. It's just sort of progressed that way from freshman year to now. I feel like it's very natural and feels great to be on this side of the team and helping the younger guys push themselves and get better.
And how are you guys feeling this year? You guys lost 2 All-Americans last year in goalie and midfield, so some offense and some defense. How's the team looking overall?
I mean, it's definitely a big hole when you lose a senior goaltender like Colin Haynes. I mean, he was, I get to warm up our goalies every day, so I mean, he would put me through the ringer every practice.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a big loss. But we had guys coming in and stepping up and knew that we were going to have, pieces. I think we had about 10 or 11 sophomores last year, so they're all juniors this year. So our whole mentality is reload. And so we had plenty of guys coming in and step up.
And you say, like, this kind of youth, it's literally almost the youth that changes into seniority with that sophomore to junior change, and even in the scope of the lacrosse league and the SEC, how is that changing for you guys?
So I mean, I guess with us, we don't really get too many 4-year guys.
Right.
It's pretty rare. Gordon's one of the rare 4-year guys. Most guys will transfer in from other programs. We have a transfer from Michigan this year, a transfer from High Point. So they're coming from prestigious Division I NCAA teams. But when they come here, they realize, I can still play competitive lacrosse. I can enjoy my time at a beautiful university like this school is. And they really just kind of mesh in with the boys. And that's kind of what Gordon's job is kind of get everybody together.
Let them know what we're all about. I mean, like you said, we're all about playing hard first. Obviously, we're a team and we're very competitive, as we saw last season. But at the same time, we're having fun. We go to a great university and we make the most of both our academic and athletic career here. So
yeah, it's easier when the guys really enjoy their university and the time they're having in school, and lacrosse just becomes that extra like icing on the top. You know what I mean? It's just like, we're only at practice 3 days a week. Some of these other programs in our divisional practice 6 days a week, but we find that if the guys really enjoy being out there and coming out there, they'll compete as hard as they can, and it's been pretty good for us.
That was kind of a segue into my next question. How is the club culture? I know the Division I athletics, they kind of commune at the Doty. That's their hub. That's their place. The club culture. Is there a club culture between teams? Maybe like the basketball teams or any things of that nature.
I think there's been some social events between a few of the club teams before. I think
a lot of it has to do with. I mean, we don't have anything like that, like the Doty, but I mean, we all practice at the same place at the same times. We're on 2 side-by-side fields, and we'll get to know each other. It's a lot of times like the soccer team, or in the past it was like the girls lacrosse team that we would get to spend time with, and we would do like Pete was saying, like social events and stuff like that. I mean, we definitely got to know each other. It's a cool environment.
Mm-hmm. And then one thing I want to talk about, you guys just came off a national championship.
Yes.
So South Carolina, obviously, you're from South Carolina. It's not the hub of the lacrosse world. Have you noticed a growth in attention on the USC club team with their fans, or just more attention overall?
I would definitely say fan base wise, it grew a lot for us the past couple of years, past 2 or 3 years. A lot more high school programs are reaching out to us, wanting to bring their teams to games and stuff like that. So I mean, you can come on our sidelines at Bluff Road and see about 400 or 500 people there, just there to watch our lacrosse games, which I mean, that's incredible. So some guys are in fraternities and they'll bring their social life and Greek life out there and they'll come support as well. But you'd be surprised how many people from the community are actually reaching out and trying to be a part of it.
That's amazing.
That's great to hear.
Now we kind of talked off camera about you guys' kind of your roads to South Carolina. Would you guys like to talk about that for a little while? Just as far as like, I know you started at Limestone.
Yeah.
And then I know you're from the Blythewood area.
So actually, yeah, I went to Blythewood High School. I played lacrosse for 4 years there. I got recruited to Limestone. I went there for 2 years, had a fantastic time while I was there. Decided to take some time off of school. I actually moved to Vancouver in British Columbia, and I picked up box lacrosse, and so I got into the indoor league. And I think that really helped speed me up and kind of evolve my offensive mind, so to speak. Because, down here it's a little bit slower of a game. And where Gordon's from, in Baltimore, is more of a hotbed. So being able to catch up and then bring myself back here when I wanted to finish school and played my final 2 years here, and then the year after I started coaching. And it's been going really well since then.
And yeah, like Candela was saying earlier, Harkey he's one of the few top programs that does not recruit players to come here. So I was being recruited by some schools to play varsity, but at the end of the day, I was like, I don't really want to go to a smaller school. I want to have that big school environment, and that's why I came here. And lacrosse just happened to work out, like you said, like a cherry on top. It was just something else that I could do. And I mean, I love lacrosse and I love the school, so it just worked out so well together. And I got my freshman year, so much fun. I mean, came out every day, competed like it was varsity, got to play alongside Candela for a year, which was good fun. And then here we are. I mean, the better we're doing, because since my freshman year, we didn't make it to that year we played together. We didn't make the conference playoffs. And I mean, then since the next season we went undefeated. We didn't lose a single game in the regular season. Went to the conference championship, went to the first time to the national tournament. So I mean, there's been huge progression that I've gotten to see. And we've definitely, like Candela was saying, we've got much better recruits, much better kids coming here, transferring from Division I schools, varsity programs, and coming to play alongside us. So it's really cool to see that.
So being on both sides of that as a player, and I guess being as a player and a coach, having a bad season, and then you turn around and you have a great season. What are some of the lessons that you learn in that transition, or maybe in the downtime versus when you're in that high point?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of it had to do with the mentality that our team had. I think we had more of that like club ball type mindset. Like, people wanted to play for themselves. They weren't really trying to play as a team. They weren't that dedicated. They didn't see it as more than just like something to go out and have fun with, which I mean was still great. We were still a good team that year, don't get me wrong, but I mean, we just didn't have that next step of like really pushing ourselves and really wanted to be the best team that we could.
Yeah, I would definitely say there's a mental switch that you have to have.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to just be the team that goes out there and you just have a good time and you're just out there kind of have a good time while you're out there, I think that's one avenue you can go. I think the higher programs in our league, they do things a little bit differently. They have players that'll be able to take a little bit more of a burden and put it on their shoulders. I think Gordon got to see, we had some really good seniors, Alex Wenzel and Nick Wood and some of those guys. They really kind of set the tone for these guys. We made it to the Final Four that year. It was the first time ever. And so they got to see that. And that kind of transpired over to next season, which was last year when we won the whole thing. And Ryan Vallon and Griffin Giles and Colin Haynes and all of those guys were like, you know what? They kind of set the blueprints for us. Let's go ahead and take it one step farther. Yeah. We had a week trip in California for this. So these guys, I mean, to put it lightly, they pay for everything, right? Mm-hmm. They gave up their spring break to go to California and play 3 lacrosse games. That kind of dedication doesn't come lightly. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of things for these guys to be doing during their spring break time, but they decided to, we're in California, but we'll allocate our time to go play lacrosse. And that trip alone really brought us together and helped lead us to kind of where we are.
I think that dedication says a lot to you all as people, and that says a lot to the program in general, the precedent that's being set with you guys. Can you let the viewers know what days you play with, so just in case they want to come and support, where they can support?
Yeah, for sure. So we play at Bluff Road Fields, right across from Williams-Brice Stadium. We play tonight at 7 p.m. out there. And
who are you guys playing tonight?
We're playing Georgia, the Bulldogs.
Get the dogs. Gotta get the dogs today.
And then on Sunday, same field, midday. What times that face off? Noon face off, and we're playing Florida. So 2 big SEC rivals. It should be a good time.
Yeah.
Come out and support.
Well, everyone, we look forward to these matchups for the weekend. And until next time, South Carolina, Spurs up.
Spurs up, baby.